Hi students, in this video we are going to learn about the outbreeding devices. So majority of the flowering plants produce hermaphrodite flowers. What do you mean by hermaphrodite flowers? That means a flower that has both male and female part in them. And if it is like that, what happens? They will undergo self-pollination or autogamy, means the transfer of pollen grains from the anther to the stigma of same flower. So if the self-pollination continues, it results in inbreeding depression, which we discussed in the last video, right? Inbreeding means what? Breeding that takes place inside a family itself. So which results in the homozygosity, no varieties, right? That means breeding between related individuals. So to avoid the self-pollination, and to bring out varieties and encourage cross-pollination, there are some devices in plants. So that is what we are going to discuss today, outbreeding devices. Okay. And the first one is avoiding synchronization. That means at the same time, pollen will be released. At the same time, stigma will be ready to receive that, right? So that is happening at the same time. So here avoiding that synchronization, that is, the pollen is released before the stigma becomes receptive, ready to receive. Or stigma becomes receptive or ready to receive before the release of pollen. That means these two will not happen at the same time. So we can avoid the pollination. Yes. So next one is arrangement of anther and stigma at different position. So if it is happening, so pollen cannot come in contact with the stigma of the same flower. So that is also helps. It's also a help to as an outbreeding devices. Next is self-incompatibility. Self-incompatibility, actually it is a genetic mechanism to prevent self-pollen. That means inhibiting, that means preventing pollen germination. You know, when the pollen grains come and fall, they should develop the pollen tube. Then only through the pollen tubes only that pollen grains will be reaching to the female part, the pistil, right? The ovary or the ovule. So inhibiting that pollen germination or pollen tube growth, so that the fusion will not take place, pollination will not take place. Next is production of unisexual flowers. Production of unisexual flowers means if a male and female flowers are present on the same plant, monoecious, we already discussed, yes? So example castor, then the maize, etc. So in that case, it prevents autogamy. It prevents autogamy but not geitonogamy. Okay, geitonogamy means what? The transfer of pollen grains from the anther to the stigma of different flower of same plant. So we can avoid, in this case, monoecious case, we can avoid autogamy, but we cannot avoid geitonogamy. Okay. And here you can see the pictures of papaya, male and female. And you might have seen in your home garden also a papaya plant with this type of flowers. Actually, that is a male plant. And here you can see, you might have seen with a papaya plant with the fruit. That is the female plant. So in dioecious plants, example papaya, male and female flowers are present on different plants. Here you can see in this plant, male part is there, in this plant, female part. Okay. And this prevents autogamy and geitonogamy. Yes, autogamy means what? The transfer of pollen grains from anther to the stigma of same flower. Anyway, this is not going to happen in this case. And geitonogamy, transfer of pollen grains from anther to the stigma of different flower of same plant. So that also will not happen here. So this is the production of unisexual flowers. So by doing all these things, and these can be considered as the outbreeding devices to prevent the self-pollination or the autogamy, so that we can enhance or bring out cross-pollination and variety can be produced. Okay, so this is all about the outbreeding devices. Next, we need to discuss about pollen pistil interaction, which will be discussed in the next video. Thank you.